Welcome to Josephine Sculpture Park. I'm Jeri Katherine Howell. I'm the program director here. And Josephine Sculpture Park is a 30-acre sculpture park with over 70 public art installations. And it's all among mowed walking paths and wildlife habitat. So we're all about connecting people with each other and the land through the arts. So we really think about our approach to contemporary art and our approach to land management, both as creative practices. And we really like to connect our diverse community together through arts and environmental education and creative events, often music events that are here at the park, as well as artist residencies where artists are living and creating their works here at the sculpture park. Right behind me is a really important and new installation going in at the sculpture park. So this is part of our Grow With Us project, and it's designed by Inside Out Landscape Design. And they're actually designed to look like human-sized nests. So I'm going to walk inside one. The idea is that these are nests that you can meander in and out of all around the amphitheater. They're made of woven honeysuckle branches that we harvested from around this area. So bush honeysuckle is an invasive plant species that we're trying to remove from key areas in the park to make space for native plants. And so we're using that plant material to make these giant nests that kids and kids at heart can come and play in and hang out in. So the idea is that these will be all around the amphitheater, and then Inside Out is coming in and planting native trees and shrubs that are beneficial to attract pollinators and to attract wildlife as well. So it's a total transformation of one of the places in the park it's like the heart of the park. This is where we have all our outdoor music events, and it's where a lot of people like to come and have a picnic. So we think it's an awesome space to improve the habitat here and also learn about the habitat. So at Josephine Sculpture Park, we acknowledge that we're on the traditional land of the Shawnee, Cherokee, Osage, Adena, Yuchi, and Hopewell peoples who have stewarded the land in this region for thousands of years. In most recent history, Josephine Sculpture Park was a family farm. So Melanie Van Houten, who is the founding director of Josephine Sculpture Park, grew up playing on this land, and it's really the place where she fell in love with nature and fell in love with the arts, in large part thanks to her grandmother, whose name was Josephine. So fast forward to Melanie's life, she studied sculpture and became a professor of sculpture, and she was an artist in residence at a rural sculpture park similar to this one, and she had this, something just clicked for her, that she wanted to return back to her hometown of Frankfort, Kentucky, and open Josephine Sculpture Park on her grandparents' old farm and name it after the woman who introduced her to a love of nature and the arts. So the sculpture park is really created out of a love of family, a love of community, a love of nature and the arts, and really wanting to get families and everyone outside and experiencing that connection. So that's what we do here through the arts. We are free and open every single day of the year from dawn till dusk. And our sculptures, it's not like a museum. When you picture a sculpture park, you might picture something that you go and observe the sculptures. But here, our sculptures are interactive. So this one you can spin. This is a sculpture by Jonathan Forrence. So you can spin some of them you can paint, some of them you can climb on. And there's a sign next to every sculpture that tells you what's appropriate, how to interact with it, and what it's about. And behind me here is one of our larger conservation projects that was in partnership with Reforest Frankfort, with Frankfort Parks and Recreation. I think it was in 2018, we hosted Reforest Frankfurt here and planted thousands of native Kentucky tree saplings that we continue to manage today. So we're in the process of reforesting this whole half of the park. So behind me is a sculpture by Justin Roberts. It's called Sounds of the Whippoorwill. And we constructed this piece with community members, with Justin's design, by first removing the invasive Callery pear and Bradford pear trees in a certain section of the park, as well as the invasive bush honeysuckle and invasive autumn olive plants. And Justin used that invasive plant material to build the structure, the inside of this sculptural bird blind. And then, as is signature of Justin's work, he wrapped the sculpture in willow, which is a plant native to Kentucky. So that's what gives it this swirling movement that's wrapping. And it's also part of the piece, is that it's wrapping these invasive plants in a native plant with the idea that it's improving the habitat, that it's making it better for humans, for plants, for animals. To accompany this piece, we worked with Connie May, and as well as our sponsors with the Frankfurt Audubon Society, Wild Birds Unlimited, the Kentucky Ornithological Society, and the Lexington chapter of Wild Ones. We worked with all of those folks plus several volunteers to revitalize this area that formerly was just mowed, and now we've planted hundreds of native wildflowers and grass plant starts in this area. And the plants were specifically chosen to attract birds so that people who are visiting this site and go inside the bird blind are more likely to see birds, that they can observe the birds. We also have an awesome feeder station that was donated by Wild Birds Unlimited here in Frankfurt that attracts the birds here. One thing that we really like to point out is that this habitat, not only because of the plants and the feeder, but because of the structure of the habitat, is a great place to see birds. So you have these cedar trees over on this side that provides protection and a place for birds to hide from predators, but then they can fly and see food right in front of them and fly over into the field in the meadow, grab their food, and fly back to protection. So this edge habitat here is a really great place where you can see birds anywhere you go in central Kentucky. So we're actually going to go inside Justin Roberts' sculpture, Sounds of the Whippoorwill, and peek through the hole. So before we go inside, I just want to point out that there is a hole that folks who are shorter can look through, and then there's a hole that folks who are taller can look through and observe the birds. So now we're at the entrance of Josephine Sculpture Park. As you come in the main entrance, this sculpture would be on your left. This is called Sky Chamber. It's by Daniel Shea. Daniel was an artist in residence here throughout the fall of 2021, and we're going to take a short trip and check it out and go inside. So now we are inside of Sky Chamber by Daniel Shea. Something that we love about many of the sculptures that we have here at the park is that they connect you to nature in an embodied way, like a full body experience of connecting with nature in a whole new way. At least that's how I interpret the experience of this sculpture. So I have crawled inside the sculpture, and now I'm sitting basically in the middle of it, and I can look up and see the sky. I can look to my left and my right and see the sky, and I can look behind me and see the sky. And you'll just have to come in and experience it for yourself, but I will say that when I'm inside of Sky Chamber, I feel like I'm an animal that is flying in the sky, like an insect or a bird. And it helps me connect with my surroundings in a whole new way. So I hope you'll come and see it. It's called Sky Chamber by Daniel Shea. So we have a partnership with Bluebirds of Central Kentucky and Wild Birds Unlimited to have a bluebird trail all throughout Josephine Sculpture Park. You can see one of the nest boxes right here, and it's just one of 11 nest boxes throughout the park that are here to provide habitat for cavity nesting birds. And a specific kind of cavity nesting bird is the eastern bluebird, whose habitat is in decline, and so populations are in decline. So this is a community science project to try and create more habitat, and then Bluebirds of Central Kentucky and Wild Birds Unlimited monitor the trails throughout the nesting season. So if you want to get involved in that as a volunteer, you can go to the Frankfort Wild Birds Unlimited store and sign up, or you can contact us at Josephine Sculpture Park to volunteer and sign up. While I'm talking about volunteer opportunities, we love to welcome groups and individuals to help us in our land management projects out here at the Sculpture Park. And you can always contact us on our website at josephinesculpturepark.org. And before I leave you, I just want to give you a sincere welcome to please come and visit us at Josephine Sculpture Park in Frankfort, Kentucky. We are free, open every single day of the year from dawn to dusk, and it's a great experience for all ages, and we're constantly changing, so there's always something new to see. See you soon.